Back, Real Madrid taking on Atleti
2 hours plus
in the final of the Spanish Supercup today in Saudi Arabia. Nothing happened in the first half. Is Jovic putting it wide in the second?
Half chance, taking it between two defenders, trying to find the far post, unable to do so.
This the best chance of the game. Valverde heads it onto his leg.
Clear it! Oh boy. It's difficult to do that.
So nothing happened in 90 minutes, and they gave us extra time as a bonus prize. Oblak here with a couple of saves.
Saves that you expect them to make.
This a key moment. 5 minutes ago, in extra time, Morata through one-on-one. Valverde thinks, no.
Oops.
Brings him down, straight red. Right thing to do?
It's a play of the game by Valverde. Now, that's assuming that Morata's going to put this away, which, who knows, but it is the correct decision by Valverde and the correct decision by the referee.
Late on, almost correct, deflects it into the neck. Courtois makes a good save. It means we go to penalties, and it would not go well for Atleti. Saul here off the post. Real would score theirs. Thomas Partey then sees Courtois make the save. Real Madrid would score all of their penalties, meaning that Sergio Ramos, with the chance to win it in the fourth round of pens. No, Panenka puts it into the corner. So Real Madrid are your Spanish Super Cup winners, beating Atleti 4-1 on penalties. What a game, Craig.
Well, I was quite lucky, actually, because I was covering digital today.
Right.
And that involved watching Aguero score a hat-trick and Man City demolish Aston Villa. And so I didn't really get to see this game.
Oh, well, you missed a lot, Craig.
Before I tuned in for what was the other game? For Roma Juve.
For Roma Juve.
So, if you do beg your pardon, I managed to skip most of this.
I tell you, I know who didn't skip it. Frank Leboeuf. What did you make of this? Surely from a defensive point of view, you can appreciate a 0-0 over 120 minutes.
No, you cannot appreciate those sort of games, even if you were a defender. I understand that money talks nowadays, and I can accept that a Supercup final, Spanish Supercup, can be played in Saudi Arabia. But there is something at the beginning of the game that I didn't feel is the atmosphere, the pressure of a final, the intensity or the expectation of the intensity. And it was missing. And I'm sure you would have it if it would have been played in Spain. And it's where I don't get it, it's where I don't connect. And after you have the quality of the game, where, well, it seemed to be, for me, a pre-season friendly game. It started to be a final and a big derby when Valverde made this horrible foul, sacrificed himself, that I felt, okay, it's a final and it's really a game, Real Madrid against Atletico, and it's not a friendly game. But otherwise, no, of course, I didn't enjoy the game.
Get his body in front here.
Not too many chances, too many fouls between the two teams. Nothing exciting, sorry.
Gab wants to talk. Should we go to Gab?
Sure.
Gab, you can't say you enjoyed this.
No, I was just thinking, Frank put it well about sort of the overseas preseason friendly side of it. You get that feeling when you see Mariano Diaz come on, because I'm not going to go and defend Zinedine Zidane at all costs, but you go into that game without Karim Benzema, without Eden Hazard, without Gareth Bale. Atleti do what Atleti do. This was an old school Cholo performance, and either you get the early goal and then it goes wild. You get that crazy game that they had last summer in preseason, or otherwise it's going to be grounded out until the end. And I'm sorry, but if you play most of the game with Jovic, who did all right, I thought, and then you turn to Mariano Diaz, it's just not going to be the same thing.
Would you both have done what Valverde did, by the way?
Yeah.
Situation. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
I'm telling you, it's no understatement when it is the play of the game.
Yeah.
And a couple of things about that. Up until that moment, every time there was a ball going out of bounds, you could see Cholo Simeone saying, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Now, with 3 minutes to go, there's a red card. It's like, let's go, come on, play. Look, It's Atletico Madrid. It is old school Atletico Madrid, I suppose. It is what Cholo likes to do, but man, it does not do anything for the spectacle. And I guess there is no responsibility in Atletico Madrid to make this a show for anybody, but, well, I tell you, they were successful in not making it a show. The other thing I would say, MVP of the game, if you were to pick a good player out of this game, is Thomas Partey. So that tells you that there was no quality in the final third. Everything was playing in the middle. It was unwatchable, but Real Madrid won it.
Real Madrid happy, rubbing salt into the wounds
suppose
once again of Barcelona. Of course, a lot of rumours surrounding Valverde and his future over the last 24 hours, and Xavi coming in to replace him. Gab, am I right in saying that that's not going to happen now, well, at least until the summer?
Well, it's not going to be Xavi. Xavi seems to have called himself out. There were rumors swirling around that they'd approach Ronald Koeman, which I'm skeptical about, but if they did, they want to look at their calendars. This guy's playing Euro 2020 in the summer. But certainly, the other rumor is, how does Valverde feel about all this? All this sneaking around behind his back. Might he just say, guys, you guys think I'm the problem? Let me just go and walk out rather than, enjoy these last few months and without Luis Suarez as well. So they kind of, I think, pretty needlessly made a rod for their own back with this very ham-fisted way they went about things.
How does this affect the team at all? Like, you talk about it amongst yourselves kind of thing with what's going on and the rumours and them going to court Xavi?
Well, probably, yeah. I would imagine. As Gab said, this is all very public.
Yeah.
So from Valverde's perspective, not that it'll come as a great surprise to him, but he knows the end is nigh for him. Don't know when it's going to be, but it's not going to be long. So he may take it into his own hands. The other side is, with the Suarez injury, it's a big chance for Antoine Griezmann to step up and play that central role, because he's been craving that. Knew he wasn't going to get it barring an injury to Suarez, so he's now going to get it. But the whole thing, the way they've gone about the business, the way they went about their potential pursuit of Neymar in the summer, again, it was a real mess. Now this, off hot-footing it to the Middle East for some, we're only going over there to see a few things and have a bit of a holiday and take in the good weather. Oh, and meet Xavi as well. The whole thing's just a bit of a mess, and if they don't get the results, then it'll change quickly.
If you're Valverde, you're thinking, well, I'm not going to walk. You're going to pay me off.
Well, of course. No, at this point, you're hanging in.
Yeah.
And you're saying, all right, I'm here. I'm doing a job. Oh, by the way, we're still, we're top of the table, right? We're up here. Isn't this where you want me? Okay, here's the other thing. If you're Xavi, part of the reason you don't take this job is because you just heard that Luis Suarez is going to be out for 4 months. So why would you jump into the middle of this when there are reasons as to why this team is struggling? And if you have followed this team this year, you know that the vulnerabilities are there. And part of that is the fact that if Lionel Messi is not scoring goals or Suarez is not scoring goals, they're not coming anywhere. Now you take Suarez out of that equation, makes it all the more challenging for Barcelona. This is a difficult situation for Valverde, for Barcelona, and for anybody who comes into this position.
As Craig mentioned, Frank, this is it now. Antoine Griezmann time to step up. You're playing in the position that you want to play in. Luis Suarez out for 4 months. It's really now his time to shine.
It is. Even if it's sad that even if I'm not a big fan of Suarez, that the guy is going to be out for 4 months, it's really true, as you said, and Craig said, that for Griezmann is the time to show his potential, that he can be the future of Barcelona at front and be helpful to Messi to again score goals. So hopefully he's going to show it, because the future is with Griezmann. I don't think the future is with Suarez, and it's the time to everybody to step up. Of course, Griezmann at first, but also Messi, to show how he can be playing with Griezmann in front and be successful with him.
Why are you not a fan of Suarez, Frank? Because he bites people, or because you don't think he's a very good footballer? I mean, what one is it?
It's true. It's true, Craig. It's mostly because of that. I think it's not the kind of player that I will want to play against, because I think I'm not going to finish a game. He's not very fair play. He's not the type of player that I like watching, and that's it. It's just like that. I think What he did in Liverpool and after in Barcelona was exceptional. What he did against Uruguay, where he got sent off and teased the players, the other team after. What he did biting other players is not the type of player that I like, and I'm allowed to say it because you asked me the question.
Speaking of questions, of course, we always stay late to answer your questions over on Extra Time. You can check it out over on our YouTube channel. Stevie's talking about the lack of turnips that he was going to eat yesterday.
Oh.
Ground. Manchester City 6, Aston Villa 1 is how it finished at Villa Park today. City brilliant, moving up to second in the table. Still, though, 14 points adrift of Liverpool at the top. Liverpool have a game in hand as well. A special day for Kun Aguero, who became the top foreign goal scorer in the Premier League. His hat-trick puts him now 2 above Thierry Henry. 177 goals for the Argentine striker. An incredible record, Craig, from a striker who just seems to have done it all in the Premier League.
Yeah, and I think it was also the most hat-tricks.
Yes,
above
12, I think now, isn't it?
12 above Alan Shearer, who, by the way, was able to do it with Southampton, Blackburn, and Newcastle teams. Certainly, the first and the latter, who were nowhere near as dominant as Manchester City. Not to take anything away from Aguero, he's been uber consistent in his time there. We wondered whether, when Guardiola came in, whether the two of them would be able to see eye to eye. They absolutely have, and quite frankly, just can't do without him.
It's interesting, Craig brings up the point with Pep, because when Jesus came in, there was a theory that maybe Jesus was more of a Pep striker and that he would work harder, but Kun kind of put that to one side and just carried on.
Well, you put it to one side when you keep scoring goals.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Kun Aguero has done. We've also seen that when he's absent, when he's had his injuries, when he had time away, that Gabriel Jesus is a nice piece to have, but he cannot be the guy. It's a nice guy to have out there in the field. It's a nice option. He may score a goal here and there, but he cannot be the guy that carries that responsibility. Kun Aguero has been that guy for many years now. And I think what's most impressive about him in the Manchester City time is that he's gone through many managers. And Pep Guardiola did come in with, I think, a different mindset as to what he wanted up there. And yet Kun Aguero showed flexibility, showed strength, showed character, and by the way, showed productivity. And that's why he's still playing. That's why he's still scoring goals, because this guy, there is a competitiveness about him that puts him a level above everybody else. And there's a hunger about scoring goals that just doesn't go away from Kun Aguero. It may go away from other guys, but not from Kun Aguero.
Frank, how would you relish the challenge of defending Kun Aguero?
Well, that must be horrible for the defenders, because the body type of Aguero is everything against a defender, a normal defender, pretty tall, like 6'1", and it's always hard to cope with those players. It's the type of player you're going to find mostly on the side, like you have Bernardo Silva, for example, or even David Silva a little bit behind him. But when you are confronted as a defender to somebody with a body type like Aguero, you know that you're going to suffer the all day long, because you can't really touch him. He's going to fall very quickly. You can't really stop him because they're very fast. They can turn very quickly. So it's really players that you want to avoid, like I used to know, like Michael Owen, for example, players like that. Fantastic career, fantastic player, hard to cope with. I mean, we remember that when we put the top players of the decade, he was named by any talent that we asked the question to.
City were good today overall, weren't they, Craig? Aguero aside in his goals, they're so good to watch when they're like this.
No, they are, but it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that Premier League teams some of them can't put up a better fist than what we saw. And Villa are not the only ones. Not the only ones. And I understand there's a disparity, but geez, I mean, come on. I mean, just so easy to play through them. And when you make it easy for teams with their calibre and their talent, they can showcase it like probably as well as anybody in Europe. You know, it's people will debate it and argue it, but I still think Liverpool are the best team in the league. But when they're on any given day, City are the best to watch in the league.
Yeah.
And there's a difference
Yeah.
between that, and we saw it today.
The old adage, there are no easy games in the Premier League, has been thoroughly thrown out the window over the last few years.
That was gone 15 minutes into the game. I would also just give an honorable mention to Kevin De Bruyne, who is quickly becoming a guy whose service is of all-time quality.
Yeah. It's PlayStation stuff.
Yes, and there's a difference between people that just kind of want to say things like, well, he just whips the ball in. No. It's not just whipping the ball in. Yes, he hits it with pace, but in the end, it's a pass. He's completing a pass. And if you're a striker on the end of that, he hits a friendly ball. One that as a striker, all you have to do is continue that momentum and redirect it on target. It is a beautiful thing to see. And for Raheem Sterling, for Gabriel Jesus, for Sergio Aguero, all those guys who are drifting in the back post, it's a dream come true. This ball is coming down. You already know that he's going to hit that ball. You believe in his skill level because you've seen it time and time again. You make that run knowing full well that he's going to put it in a place in which only you can finish it. And man, all you're thinking of, this pretty ball is coming my way, and I'm celebrating on that corner over there. This is how simple Kevin De Bruyne is making these services look.
City against Real Madrid is going to be fun in the Champions League, of course, next month. Meanwhile, let's just check out what happened in the Championship over the weekend. West Brom still just ahead of Leeds by 1 point. Meanwhile, it's Brentford, Fulham, Forest and Sheffield Wednesday that make up the other playoff spots. Just a reminder, the FA Cup replays feature this week on ESPN+. You've got the likes of Spurs against Borough. That's on Tuesday at 3:05. And on Wednesday, Manchester United against Wolves. That's a 2:45 kickoff. To France we go. What a game it was between PSG and Monaco. It would start pretty much as it would finish. 3 minutes on the clock. Neymar making it 1-0 to the league leaders.
Does well in getting behind the defender. Shields the ball away from the defender that's coming across. And then with the left foot, finishes to the near post. Good goal.
4 minutes later, though, Monaco with the equaliser. Oh, Gelson Martins with the goal.
Yeah, good advantage played. Penalty would have been given, obviously. Lovely little ball here. Yeah, just about.
And then, 6 minutes later, it's the visitors who would take the lead. Ben Yedder, this is a nice goal.
And it's all about that first touch and the little feint, a little drop of the shoulder, that left shoulder, forces the defender to react. Everybody fly by, and then a nice calm finish to the far post.
The 4 goals in the opening 24 minutes as Neymar gets his second to make it 2-2. A couple of deflections on the way, though.
Wait a minute.
He's claiming it. He's claiming it.
What?
He's not getting that. I don't care. Tell him he's not getting it and then see how upset he gets.
5 minutes to go in the first half. Kylian Mbappe brought down here.
Step over, can't keep up with his pace. You go lunging in, don't get the ball. 100% a penalty.
Neymar then scores for his quote-unquote hat-trick.
I'll give him it, keep him happy.
Into the second half we go. What a chance here to make it 4. Keeper though makes the save.
Well, he sure took his time, but no finish.
And then with 20 minutes to go, Slimani pokes the ball home here, but the goal's called back for offside. VAR would take a look though, reverse the decision. It's 3-3.
And what?
Must have hit.
Wait,
No,
is that,
I think what it was is because the defender made a genuine attempt to play the ball.
Right.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Goalkeeper makes the save there.
oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who's the goalkeeper? Thiago?
You think a handball there, Ali?
Wow, yes. Yes, I'm thinking a handball there.
Mbappe with a chance to win it. Can't hit the target as it finishes PSG 3, Monaco 3. Of course, Monaco with Moreno now in charge. A good start for him. They remain 8th. PSG 5 points clear of Marseille, and PSG do have a game in hand. Meanwhile, let's head back to Italy. This was not a great game. Fiorentina taking on Spal. Fiorentina, in the end, would get the win, but boy, they laboured to it. 82nd minute. Pazelli with the goal. Pazella, sorry.
Deflection on the way, takes it past the goalkeeper that can't react on time. And really, it's what this sort of game deserves, a deflected goal.
So it finishes Fiorentina 1, Spal 0. Meanwhile, of course, Copa del Rey now available here on ESPN+. A couple of good goals we saw. This is Madrid against Celta Vigo. Santi Mina for Celta there with the goal. And eventually Celta Vigo winning by 4-1. Eibar against Casareño, Pedro Leon.
That ball is dancing.
With a beautiful goal. Eibar would win that match 2-1. The A-League also here on Plus. Central Coast Mariners taking on Melbourne Victory. A bit of a chaotic game this. 8 minutes on the clock.
Oh.
Dobras with the slight deflection, 1-0. Then just before the break, Jordan Murray with the equaliser.
Beautiful ball from the right-hand side. Nice header. 1-1.
12 minutes to go. Own goal from Carl Robles.
Oh.
Well, can't do much about that, can
No. Clear it.
It's a deep
Oh, knee bash.
And then lots of drama to end with. Right, 90th minute. Appeal for handball. So ref would go to the monitor. Initially, he's given the free kick.
Ooh, that's a handball.
Then he goes to the monitor, has a look,
Yeah.
and a penalty is awarded to Central Coast.
Yeah, he gave the free kick to the
Yeah.
against the attacking team to start with.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Simon scores. And then the 94th minute. Shoving match here.
Oh, somebody throw a punch.
Oh,
Come on.
no, that's it. Red shirt.
No.
No red cards, by the way.
What?
And then in the 98th minute, penalty to Central Coast.
Man.
He gets pushed, doesn't he?
Does he?
It's a little push, but
Man.
Oh.
I don't know. Even the ketchup bottle in the background is questioning this call.
Simon then?
Oh, no question about that.
No question. Ripped shirt and all.
Oh, yes.
Rip it all off.
What about the quality of the uniform?
Melbourne Victory are not impressed for Central Coast Mariners. It means they move up to 10th in the table. They're all, of course, chasing Sydney FC, who are 11 points clear at the top. Not long now until MLS returns. Just a reminder, of course, that all your out-of-network matches available here on ESPN+. On March 1st, Seattle Sounders taking on Chicago Fire. That's at 3 p.m., followed by LAFC taking on New Boys Inter Miami. I didn't say Inter Milan.
Well, that's good.
That's good. I'm getting better at that now.
That's a step forward.
It is.
they've got a stadium, right?
I don't believe so.
no,
Oh, there's a game coming up.
Well, that game is in LA. So
Thank you very much, guys. Stay tuned for Extra Time. Welcome into Extra Time. Thank you as always for your tweets. Craig and Ali here in the studio. We've got Gab, we've got Frank with us as well. Who would you depend your life on between Lukaku and Higuain to score in a big game? Who are you going for?
Higuain.
Higuain?
Yeah.
Man, I have seen him miss in big games.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. I'm going to go with Higuain, but slightly.
Higuain?
And feeling very, very much in danger of my life ending very quickly.
Gab?
I don't like this question because we remember the high-profile misses. I'll go with Lukaku because, you know what? He's played in fewer big games than Higuain, so I'm going to assume he's had fewer big game misses.
All right, then. Which country has the better cuisine, Frank? Ooh. France or Italy?
Oh, that's a hard question. It's like fashion. I'm really fond of the Italian cuisine, so I don't want to be critical too much with them. But I think the variety of what we can offer is more important than Italy. But they have a fantastic cuisine, so I like the Italian cuisine. I don't want to critique too much the Italian cuisine.
But you say France is better?
But we are the best. Of course, we are French. Come on.
Gab?
You know what? As somebody who actually loves French cuisine and has a place in the south of France and loves that part of the world, I will very respectfully say, you are. This is very much sort of LeBron, Kobe type. You're in that echelon, but I do agree that France probably has better variety. I would argue that we probably have better produce and better raw materials.
What? You go for Craig, France or Italian?
Italian.
Yeah, I think I go Italian as well.
Yeah, I like both, but that would be my first port of call.
Yeah. Ali?
Right now, I'm on a diet.
Oh, God, no carbs.
No carbs.
No carbs.
Italian food, it's difficult.
What do you think Stevie would say?
I don't know. He couldn't.
No,
he would have to go Italian, wouldn't he? Because he'd get like a
spag ball.
Yeah.
Standard.
Michelin star French restaurant.
I don't know what he would have if he was in France. Let's be honest with you.
How bad was Drinkwater today, Craig? Did you ever have a match like he had?
Yeah. He wasn't. But it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. He was thrown in. He's hardly played any football. He's been on loan. He wasn't one at Chelsea, and then he went on loan. He was at Burnley, hardly get any game time. He's not fit, and he's in against Man City. It's tough to do that. You can make, and he did. He looked a little foolish, and that can happen.
I got to tell you, it was one of those moments in which, that's where Danny Drinkwater is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's at Aston Villa now. This guy who was so important to Leicester's title, he just disappeared from the face of the earth and appears losing the ball inside his own 18-yard box and then Riyad Mahrez scoring. Rough game for him, but for all Aston Villa. And all those fans, 20 minutes in, they were all going home.
Do you have a feeling it's going to be that sort of day? Like early on, you're thinking, I'm not quite where I want to be.
Well, in all fairness, I think his is a lot down to probably some nerves, even for somebody who's been there, because he hasn't played for a while. He's at a new club against one of the best in the country. And you know as a professional you're not up to speed.
Right.
And you start making some mistakes and then the crowd get on your back and you start thinking about it and you get pressurised because they're closing you down all the time. And so you know, so from his perspective, I don't really blame the player. In fact, I would blame more the management in putting him in. But yeah, I've been in that situation. When fully fit, sometimes you just have one of those days.
And here's the thing.
It's horrible, it won't go away either.
When all you want to do is complete a 5-yard pass to feel good about yourself, Manchester City is all over you.
Right.
So it's not the right team to try to look or search for confidence. Tough game for everybody.
Frank, would you have tackled Morata like Valverde did today?
If I had to, I would have done that.
Yeah.
I know it's ugly. I know it's not something that I want to show to the fans, the young fans, but it's a professional sport, and you know that it's something you can do, and you have to accept the circumstances of it. And I would have done that for sure.
You know who appreciated that tackle?
Simeone. Yeah.
When Valverde came out of the field, hey, that's a good play, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
He knew.
But you would have done it, yeah? Would you?
Yeah, well, you don't. I mean, he's obviously factored in when it was.
Yeah, of course. 5 minutes to go in extra time.
20 minutes into the first half.
Yeah.
Different matter.
Yeah.
But it's a reaction. Frank would have talked Morata off. I reckon he had about 7 seconds there before. Yeah, Frank could have talked him out of it.
You think so?
Before making the tackle. Oh yeah. Yeah.
How good was Courtois?
Good.
He was all right, wasn't he?
But it's what you expect him to be. I mean, in the game, didn't have many saves to make. One on Morata on the near post, and then a couple of extra time. But it's what you expect Thibaut Courtois to be. The thing is that the bar that he has set for himself at Real Madrid has been so low that now when you actually see a solid game from him, you go, hey, he's here, he's for real.
Final question, Frank, it's a long one, concentrate. Do you think France can win the European Championship this summer with an ageing Giroud as their number 9? There are some strong back lines in the competition, and I feel Mbappe and Griezmann aren't quite the fit. Should Benzema be recalled if he helps Madrid lift the Champions League?
Well, so first I think, yes, France can win the European Championship, but they're not the only one. So we have to be humble if we want to be able to win it, then
Wait, Frank, you just say you're French, you're the best in everything. And now don't tell me you're going to be humble in order to win it.
I was talking about food and wine. I'm not talking about football. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So yes, it's possible to win against without Giroud. Yes, Mbappe and Griezmann can do the job. And what was the last part of it?
Should Benzema be recalled?
About the last part. Benzema, it's over.
Yeah.
As long as Deschamps will be the coach, Benzema will never be back with the national team. So it's not something we should discuss until Deschamps leaves the head of the national team.
That's it. That's the end of extra time. We're done. Ali, you're going to LA this week, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Me and Craig will be here though tomorrow with Turnip Man as well. I think he's back. You can join us. And Sid Lowe's here, and Ian Dark is here as well, I think.
Are you okay?
No,
or are you just making this up as you go?
Some names. Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC here on ESPN Plus. Later on in the show, we'll be reflecting on that exciting Spanish Super Cup final, plus waxing lyrical about record-breaking Kun Agüero. But for now, let me introduce you to Ali Moreno, Craig Burley, Gab Marcotti and Frank Leboeuf with us as well as we kick things off in Italy. Roma against Juventus. Very much the big match today in Serie A, and it would be an excellent result for the defending champions who would take the lead after just 3 minutes. Demiral with a goal.
I think Demiral sees it late but reacts just enough to it, redirects it with his chin into the goal. 1-0 Juventus.
And then Roma very much the architects of their own downfall here, trying to play out from the back. Absolute mess. Dybala gets brought down, penalty.
Yeah, he does well to get his body in front here. Crazy from the goalkeeper to roll it out, particularly when you've only just gone 1-0 down. And then Ronaldo, unsurprisingly, dispatched the penalty.
A couple of big injuries early on in this game. You can just see Demiral, of course, open the scoring, just landing awkwardly here.
And as he lands, and usually it's not a good side, he feels it, he knows it. We'll see what the outcome is.
So Juve forced to make a sub 15 minutes later. You see De Ligt coming on 15 minutes later, Roma as well. This looked pretty bad for Zaniolo.
Yeah, well, he picked the ball up near his own penalty area and went on a great run. I don't think it was so much the contact as maybe the landing, but we're hearing it's not particularly good for that young man.
Let's take it into the second half. Penalty awarded here to Roma. It would be VAR that would send the ref over to the monitor. Right decision?
I suppose once you slow it down and you put it in slow motion, and it's difficult to make a case that Alexandro does not touch the ball with his arm. He does. The problem is that there's such a short distance between his stomach and his arm. I think in the end it was inconsequential to the final result.
Diego Perotti stepping up, scoring the pen. In the end though, Juve with the win. It's a big weekend for Juventus, isn't it? Considering Inter, of course, dropping points yesterday against Atalanta in that 1-1 draw. Juve now 2 points clear at the top of the table. Gab, how would you sum up their performance today?
Well, I mean, I think they felt like they were maybe gifted two goals early on. And, you know, from a position of strength, you expect them to dominate. But they didn't really do that. And I thought there were jitters at the end. That's why he changed it around, sent on Higuain. But, look, in the end, there's nothing you can say to Juve. They have lost one game in all competitions this season. And that's simply unbelievable.
Frank, for you, Juve big favourites now for the title?
Yes, they are. With the draw of Inter at home, you know, of course, Juventus will be, and they were already for me the favorite for the competition because of the experience they got and the resume they have. So, yeah, you know, when they have to score big goals, you know, they do it very quickly. After 7 minutes to goal, bye-bye, end of the story. So, yeah, I think they deserve.
Is it harsh for me to say, well, they weren't swashbuckling, they didn't particularly impress, they didn't do anything particularly that caught the eye today?
No, but that's been what they've been doing pretty much all season, as Gab mentioned. Lost one game to Lazio. In all competitions, getting the job done, have a big squad, I can change it around. The downside is that partnership had kind of formed at the back with Demirel and Bonucci, and now he's going to be out for a bit. Hopefully not too long from him. So De Ligt comes back again and tries to stake a claim for a regular place. But the three best teams, arguably, in Italy are not the ones that are going to be in the title race, which is Atalanta, Lazio and Roma, because it's Inter Milan and Juve are probably going to be there at the end. They're not the two most attractive teams to watch at the moment in Italy, but they're the two most successful at the moment.
Get it done, isn't it? You won't really remember this game. Juve win the title come the end of the season, but it's 3 important points.
But this game is what seemingly every game has been for Juventus this year. And so I would look at it from the perspective of, if you're Juventus, you say, look, we keep winning. We know how to find ways to win games. Even if we don't play well, even if we're not head and shoulders above everybody else, we find ways to win games and get 3 points. If I'm the trailing pack, I'm thinking, man, they've only lost 1 game this year, but they're vulnerable. They're there for the taking. If we can get a run of results, if we can put some pressure, then maybe eventually, if you're Inter, if you hang on just enough, and then you can see Juventus eye to eye, maybe in that game you're able to beat them, because there are issues for Juventus. It's not a team that is going to run away from you. And so this is going to be close all the way to the end, because I do think that Juventus will drop points here and there. Eventually, all of these things, that this near misses, this pose, this penalty, this goal that goes your way, those things are going to turn around and go in a different direction, and Juventus is not going to be able to pull this result. So they either start playing better so that they can continue to get results, or Inter is going to have to be perfect from here on out and truly put pressure on Juventus and force them into a mistake.
There's this relentlessness, though, isn't it, from Juve? Been there, done that. We know what we're doing. We're the big boys.
Yeah, but you get the feeling it's a different. Even though yesterday they were not great, Inter Milan.
No, they were lucky in the end.
They were not great, and Conte will know that. However, you get the feeling the mentality around that team, that squad is different. Certainly from the manager's perspective, which I think radiates to the players. They may do some business in January, some consequential business that'll have a big impact in them. So I think Juventus are aware. Whilst they've had a challenge on occasions, and I think Napoli being the biggest one, I think it got down. The gap was the closest it got was 4 points over recent years as a challenge. I think they believe that Inter are not really going to go away this year.
Just a reminder, we put out an audio version of the show every day. It's called a podcast. There's bonus material on there as well. You can download it over on our website or on iTunes if you like. Right then.